Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Taranto.
And I'm Tom Matthews. And Joanne and I are going to be doing a series on what it looks like for sellers who are going to hire us to sell their home. And the first process we're going to start with is that initial meeting. And we initially meet with a seller at their home, and we like to tour the home with the seller and go through the property, find out what caused them to buy the house. Why did they fall in love with it? What was it? And then they kind of walk us through it. This takes about 30 minutes. They walk us around room by room. They talk about upgrades, they talk about things they love about the property, they talk about what they dislike about the property, what they like, what they'd improve, what they change. And then after that, what happens after that, Joanne, after you do a nice comprehensive tour?
So then we like to sit down at the kitchen table or the dining room table and get to know you a little bit better, right? And by getting to know you, you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions about our strategy, about our business, about the way that we operate. But it's a nice opportunity for us to talk about what's working for you, what's not working for you, and if you'll be buying another property, maybe talking a little bit about that. But mostly we like to keep it focused on the house at hand. And this is where we might ask you some questions about how old is your roof? How old is your boiler? What other capital improvements have you done since you've been here? And it's fine if you've done none.
Right.
There are plenty of people who have done, you move into a house, you enjoy it, and you move out, and that's totally fine too. So what we like to do is then we'll be taking some notes during this process and understanding what your ideal timeline is, right? Because we'll want to talk about when would you like to have the house on the market, and ideally, what would you like to see the transaction? How would you like to see the transaction transpire? And the reason that's important is because we have several different pricing strategies. And we want to make sure that we are matching our pricing strategy with your goals and objectives, and that you are going to have the experience that you want to have. Because ultimately, this process is all about you, and it's getting you from one destination to the next. And we're going to problem solve about the best way to do that. Sometimes you want to tell us a little bit about pets that you have in the house or scheduling conflicts you have. Maybe there are babies that are napping during certain hours, and we can talk about all of these challenges and how we can overcome them in a listing process.
And again, the process is all about you. And a lot of people say, like, why do you do 2 steps? Why don't we just meet, sign the contract, and get going? Well, we really want to flesh out your goals, because Joanne and I have been working together for 20 years, close to 700 homes, and every single seller is unique. Every single seller has a different priority and a different goal. Some sellers, the priority is money. Some sellers, it's the ease of the transaction. Some sellers, it's time. And so we really want to find out for you, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller, what is most important for you? Why did you call us? We really want to be in depth. When you hire a realtor, it's about the service that you receive. Ultimately, the house sells itself, but how is the service you receive? And that service starts on that very first appointment. And making sure that we give you the right level of communication. Everything about that we do, we have certain processes in place that we have for every client, but we want to modify them for each one to make it a unique experience. And we feel that first appointment is so important to get that ground rule.
And one of the ways that we make it unique to you is during this first appointment, we'll ask you, how do you like to digest information? Do you like charts and graphs? Do you like Excel spreadsheets? Do you like to look at MLS listings with pictures? We want to be able to deliver the information to educate you on the market conditions in the way that best suits you. So for some people, they want to have a very comprehensive printed package that includes all the data and the pictures. Some people would prefer us to email them something ahead of time. And we want to make sure that we're presenting the information in a way that's digestible and easily understood by you.
Yeah, it's a really important first step that we really find helps the seller and helps us to make sure ultimately that we're a good fit for each other. Because you're not just hiring us, we are partnering together. Because it might take us 30 days to sell your home, but it could take us 6 months. And if we're going to be in that type of relationship together, we want to make sure that it's a mutual relationship and beneficial, so that at the end of the process, you'll write us a great Google review and everyone walks away super happy. And that's really what we are kind of reaching for with this first appointment, is making sure it's a great fit for both parties. So that's step one in the onboarding process, working with the Tom and Joanne team. You'll have to come back to our next video to learn the second one. But I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Taranto, and please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Cheers.